What's up, guys? Got the Polaris XP 1000 over here. There's not too many videos on YouTube pulling the transmission out. I've got some grinding. I got a gear that's bad, something. So I got to pull the transmission out of it. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully this video will be helpful. So we've got some grinding here on the RZR. So I've got the rear end jacked up. I have it in neutral. It'll roll good for a second and then it'll catch, just like that. So gotta pull this off. I've already got the cover pulled off here. Pull off the secondary. We're gonna pull off the primary and get started. Alright, you have two bolts on your clutch. You got your secondary and your primary. I already took the primary off, it's a 21 millimeter. And then your secondary, you have a 15 millimeter here. Alright, once you get your secondary off, use your puller tool for your primary. Tighten this in till you hear it pop off. Now from my experience from this, just pay to get the tool. I use a 3/4 inch bolt, 16 threads per inch. And it fought me and fought me. I probably spent 6.5 hours to be able to get that to pop off. I had to use grease to pressurize it to help pop it off. Just spend the 35 bucks to get the tool. All right, next we take out these 10 millimeter bolts. Pull the cover off. Now you just need to disconnect all your hoses. Alright, there you go. You got your motor, you got your transmission, where your primary is, your secondary. This is where you'll separate out. You disconnect the drive line, and you disconnect your CV axle boot here, and this is the start of that. Alright, to get the rear prop shaft out, it's kind of a pain. It's not too bad though. You need to disconnect your drive shaft from the front to begin with. Disconnect that first. Come in here and your drive shaft carrier, there's two bolts down there. I've already taken them off. You disconnect those. Once you disconnect those, that'll allow you to disconnect your rear prop. Next, you remove the stabilizing bar on both sides. 15 millimeter socket. I like to try to put my bolts back where they came from if possible. Just helps the holes. Do the same on the other side. Next, you're going to remove the two bolts for the control trailing arm here and here. Bolt ends are there and there. 15 millimeter. Alright, now that we got all that removed, take out the CV axle. Pull that out like that. As you can see, all that has now been removed. Alright, at this point, I took two 3/4 inch sockets and placed under the motor, so when you pull the transmission, it doesn't drop. Just to support it. So like I said, two 3/4 inch sockets. Alright, now over here on the passenger side, we're going to be removing the gear position switch connector, the speed sensor connector, the crankshaft position sensor, and the shift bolt and the shift bracket cable. So there's one more connector back in here. It's just above this CV boot. Make sure you grab that. Once you get that, you got all your wires. Just pull them out of the way. One thing I did is I popped this plastic connector off from here. It's probably easier just to unscrew this, like I did on this one, and then just put the bolt back. That way you don't ruin this plastic connector. Just a small tip. Alright, what you want to do is you want to remove the two bolts here and here that hold the transmission of the motor. They're 15 millimeters. They're on there pretty good, so grab yourself a dead-blood one. Break those loose. Alright, so at this point you'll be pretty close. Got most everything removed. You will just need to disconnect the shock on this side as well, and the trailing arms, and do everything to pull the CV out on this side so you can pull the transmission. So this is what you should be left with. On the driver's side, you need to take out these two 15 millimeter bolts. And then you will take out that 15 millimeter bolt, 15 millimeter bolt back here. There's two of them. This one's I think it comes through, it's like a 12 on this one. Yours should be probably 15. That's the part right there where the sockets down here are going to be super important as the weight pulls out. So you can see the transmission's just kind of hanging there on its own. Alright, so I decided I had to remove the intake boot off of this to get the trans out. Slowly work its way out, move the connectors. There you go. Now that's out of the way. Make sure all your wires are out of the way. And you should be able to lift the transmission up towards you. Just like that. Pull the transmission out. That's it. Pulled out of there.